concept that I'm looking at today is ideology, specifically in the case of feminism. Stuart Hall defines ideology as the framework of thinking and calculating about the world. The ideas which people use to figure out how the social world works, what their place is in it, and what they ought to do. Pop culture and ideology work together as pop culture is ultimately political. That is, it offers competing ideological significations of the way the world is or should be. Popular culture is thus, as Hall 2009a claims, a site where, quote, collective social understandings are created, a terrain on which the politics of signification are played out in attempts to win people to particular ways of seeing the world. Pop culture can make certain things seem natural, normal, or inevitable, or what we like to call normalization. This effectively makes everyone else, quote, the other people. Every act of identification is also an act of subjection to the rules of social context, as it involves questions of power. Feminist philosopher Judith Butler views identity as a performance behind which there is no unified, coherent, or fixed self. She uses gender as a primary example and argues that if it is no way stable identity or a locus of agency from which various acts proceed, rather it is an identity tenuously constituted in time, an identity instituted through a stylized repetition of acts. Whether we like it or not, ideology has set up that we become identified with certain people on the basis of similar features or experiences. Where we are placed within the social order is not up to us as individuals, but it does shape our sense of who we are, where we belong, and how we should live. So if we're looking at ideology and how gender is perceived, we want to ask, what is feminism? Feminism is an interdisciplinary approach to issues of equality and equity based on gender, gender expression, gender identity, sex, and sexuality as understood through social theories and political activism. Feminism sees those that identify as men experience advantages in sexist system, but also sees that sexism can be detrimental to men. In other words, feminism describes a culture in which women, because they are women, are treated differently than men, and that in that difference of treatment, women are at a disadvantage. Feminism assumes that such treatment is cultural, and thus possible to change and not simply, quote, the way the world is must be. Feminism looks at a different culture as possible and values moving towards that culture. Rap culture and rap music seems to be very sexist in lyrics and presentation of oneself. But artists such as Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, and Lil' Kim fight back against these norms and express their feminism throughout their music. We can see specific examples of this in Lil' Kim's hypersexualized song, Suck My Dick. Despite the crude name, it's her response to the misogynistic, sexist, and extremely sexualized world of hip-hop. Lil' Kim attempts to bend hip-hop's gender binary, as we can see in the lyrics of the following clip.
Imagine if I was a dude and hitting cats from the back with no strings attached. Yeah, nigga, picture that. I treat y'all niggas like y'all treat us, no doubt. Hey, yo, come here like a bust in your mouth.
Come here, bitch. Why you acting like a bitch?
Cause y'all niggas ain't shit. And if I was a dude, I'd tell y'all to suck my dick.
Though some people believe that Lil' Kim is succumbing to commercial pressures and the pressures of the young men in the industry, this song proves that she isn't afraid to break the gender binaries, as well as push against the toxic masculinity of hip-hop culture with having pride in her own sexuality. This is proven as she reverses the toxic, derogatory language used against women in the industry and states it back towards the men, therefore creating the name of the song, Suck My Dick. Looking at this theory as a whole, feminism is part of an ideology that is ridding of the strict gender binary of how women should look and act, in which the ideology theory suggests. This is presented within the rap music scene as Lil' Kim and various female artists aim to express their pride in their sexuality and feminism throughout their music.